Donald Trump put America on a timetable to leave that country. If Biden wanted to, he could have come in and undone that.
So you're blaming, just to be clear though, Destiny, you're blaming Donald Trump for a decision that was taken 8 months after he left office.
True. Nah, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. 100%. Like the CHIPS Act. All she had to say is the CHIPS Act.
You know, when I look at my country right now, there's not a whole lot that I could say about Joe Biden. I think he seems like a nice man. He seems like perhaps a good husband, perhaps a good father.
Good father. If he was a good father, would Hunter Biden be the way that he is right now?
2/3 of Democrats don't want him to run again. It's not even a Republican issue. His own party don't want him to.
Damn.
I definitely agree there's perception issues, but I mean, hey, listen, we're in the media. The goal is to fight the perceptions because I think the perceptions are crafted here. And again, I question.
He is so not wrong about that. That statement is probably the most truest thing that I will ever agree with him right now in this entire debate, because he's trying to craft that perception, and I'm not going to let him. All right, hello, my name is Mr. WhyzGuy. Welcome to my microscopic little channel. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you'll stay a while. Today we're going to be watching Piers Morgan, Uncensored specifically. Well, Destiny's on here, so that's the main reason why I'm watching it. But yeah, we got Piers Morgan Uncensored. We got Destiny on here. I'm doing a little bit of a Destiny arc. Destiny is a streamer, has a lot of political opinions, but we got the roster here. We got Piers Morgan, right? We got, and he's basically the moderator for this semi-debate discussion that they're gonna have. We also got Destiny. He's a streamer dude, does a lot of stuff. He's pretty cool. I respect him a lot, except when Trump comes out, when the name Trump comes out of Destiny's mouth, my brain just shuts off. It literally just shuts off. And then we got the other lady that's also watching. Her name is Tomi Lauren, and never heard of her before until literally now, because she's on the show. I'm only watching this because Destiny is on the show. So I guess before we get into it, like and subscribe and comments are great too. Thank you very much. And let's just get right into it. Also, before we start, I have a new little system that automatically makes my screen get bigger. And tell me what you guys think about that. Is it annoying if my head pops in and pops back out? I don't know. I like it because it's automatic and I don't have to like do too many button pushing. But yeah, it's gonna be great. So sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show.
Donald Trump's improbable return to the White House took another huge step forward at the weekend as he crushed Nikki Haley in the Republican primary in her home state of South Carolina. The former president didn't even need to turn up for the results, choosing instead to give another one of his barnstorming rally speeches to the Conservative Party Action Conference. And as usual...
Actually, this is a little bit of a gripe. So this is what I mean by like my thing automatically pops up. Well, we have 1080p, right? What's 1080p enhanced premium? Like, I need to know, like, what is that? That's weird. Throw it down in the comments below. Thank you very much.
He didn't hold back.
A vote for Trump is your ticket back to freedom. It's your passport out of tyranny. And it's your only escape from Joe Biden and his gang's fast track to hell. And in many ways, we're living in hell right now.
Well,
that's a little bit hyperbolic, but you know.
Beat President Biden in November's election. So can anything stop him? And what will Trump, the sequel, mean for America and the world? Here's a debate with one of Trump's most vocal critics, the hugely influential YouTuber
Stephen Bunnell.
Destiny, and the host of Fearless on Outkick, Tomi, Lahen. Okay, Destiny, you voted for Joe Biden last time. I think it's safe to assume you won't be voting for Donald Trump this time, but are you comfortable voting for Biden given the state that he now appears to be in?
Remember, the question is, are you comfortable with voting for Joe Biden for the state that Joe Biden is? Now, he's going to completely pivot to Trump because he hates Trump. The only reason he's voting for Joe Biden is because he hates Trump. Remember this. I don't think he's... Well, you know what? I'll let him say it. I'm poisoning the well right now. I'm doing it. I'm sorry for all the Destiny lovers, but I'm poisoning the well because you got to get to the point. Like, just notice this. He does not say anything. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna let him say. I'm gonna let him do his thing. Like, we're only a minute in and I'm already heated. Let's go.
Every time somebody attacks Biden on his senility, I feel like that is a stronger indictment of Trump's own failure as a.
See, are you serious, bro? Like whenever someone attacks Biden for his mental issues, let's just say that, they're just projecting because Trump has mental issues. All right, then show me some gaffes, Destiny. Come on. Run all the videos of Trump's gaffes. Maybe I'll throw Biden's gaffes in editing. Maybe, if I'm not lazy.
President, I do agree that Biden definitely seems to have slowed down in his older age, but I mean, he passed so much more legislation than Trump. I think our foreign policy aims are better than they were under Trump. And I think the way that he manages the
really foreign policy thing, like, did you not remember what happened? The pullout from Afghanistan? Are you serious? Biden was better with the foreign stuff than Trump. No wars. It was relatively peaceful underneath the 4 years of Trump, and now we're under Biden. And what do we have? 2 wars right now that we're in. Like, what? I'm not blaming Biden for why those wars are started, but like when America seems weak, which when Biden's in office, America seems weak, and that means the rest of the world can do whatever they want. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but why didn't Russia attack Ukraine underneath Trump? Like, come on now. There's a reason for that. And it's not because Trump's a Russian spy or whatever. Like, wait, what? I mean, if even if that was the case, then Russia would obviously attack, because if Trump was like a Russian spy or is in for Russia, then attacking Ukraine underneath Trump would be the best time, because Putin already knows that Trump's not going to do anything about it, because Trump just loves Russia, right? Because he's that spy or whatever conspiracy theories you guys still have about Trump and Russia. That's just, honestly, the whole Trump-Russia thing is stupid. And now they're just, every time, it's just, whenever it has to do with Trump, just blame Russia. They said he was a Russian spy. You know what? I'm not even going to put this in. Let's just keep going.
Rhetoric and the overall attitude of the country is way more responsible than Trump as well. And he's not facing 90 plus criminal indictments. So,
all right, yeah.
He seems to have slowed down in his older age, but I mean, he passed so much more legislation than Trump. I think our foreign policy aims are better than they were under Trump. And I think the way that he manages the rhetoric and the overall attitude of the country is way more responsible than Trump as well. And
yeah, Biden knows how to talk normal, sort of. He wasn't. I can definitely give that Biden isn't as inflammatory as Trump, but then again, I don't really care. I only care for the policies, and Biden's policies suck. Trump's policies are way better, 100%. That's my opinion, though.
He's not facing 90 plus criminal indictments, so
that may well be true, but
doesn't Destiny realize that a few of those indictments was because of Biden? So I like how he uses something that Biden caused to Trump as an excuse to why you probably shouldn't vote for Trump. Okay, good job, Destiny.
The reality is, perception is often half the battle with an election campaign. The perception is that Donald Trump is a little bit younger, but has twice the energy, twice the dynamism.
True.
All the stuff that's being thrown at him, far from defeating him, as is usually the case with politicians, has empowered him and made him stronger. What are the Democrats going to do about that come November?
True. So many people are like, all these indictments. It's like they're throwing like spaghetti at a wall and seeing what would stick. Like, there's so many things that they're throwing at him that he's like beating, but then eventually, like, you're gonna end up like convicting him on like what he didn't do his taxes. He did his taxes improperly. That's usually what happens in courts when they're trying to convict someone that they can't get like actual evidence of conviction. They just convict them on something like small, and then but this is literally how it feels like. The perception is that the government's out to get him, and he's been saying this since 2016, and now it's not like Trump has changed the way that he's been talking about. Like, he's always said that the government's corrupt. Like, he's been saying this before 2020, and now all these indictments and all these like these things that the government's going after him for, like, it's just proving his point. It's just proving his point. It's insane. But I guess Destiny thinks otherwise.
I think all Democrats can kind of hope for is that the perception of the economy continues to increase. Consumer sentiment is starting to climb again. I think that Trump is also stumbling into a few misspeaks on his own. I think there was that clip of him mixing up Nikki Haley and Pelosi. There was him talking about, I think it was the deserts of Vietnam. Both of these guys are definitely, I'd say, hitting their older age, their gold.
True. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's true that Donald Trump probably like misspoke with some names and stuff, but that's nowhere comparable to what's going on with Biden now. Biden's not even like Biden's doing way worse than just mixing up words. Biden is literally coming up with gibberish words.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Back in 2020, there was a clip of him saying, if you don't vote for me, then you're not black. And I'm like,
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
Biden, why would you say that? That just sounds like that just sounds racist. Like the Democratic Party is automatically like for black people. Therefore, if you don't vote for Biden, you're not black. But he said that back in 2020. And I'm like, bro, Trump didn't say anything like that, even relatively. If he did, throw it down in the comments below. Tell me. Like, I want to see it. I want to see some of the racist stuff that Trump has said. I don't think there is. There's a lot of things that a lot of people take out of like Trump has been taken out of context so many times that, and he's been called a racist so many times that whenever I hear something that that accuses Trump of like wrongdoing, I just dismiss it because there's just so much fake nonsense about him, misinterpreted nonsense, like context missing out of it. Like I know Trump says some really like he just says the way that it is, and he's gonna say it he's not gonna sugarcoat it, and it rubs a lot of people the wrong way because like, oh, that's not presidential. And I'm like, well, I don't care what he says. I care what his policies is. And his policies were really good. That's just my feelings on it. Anyways, let's just keep going.
Golden years. So I don't know if Trump is going to be free of any of the misspeaks that Biden has found himself stumbling into recently as well.
Well, Tomi.
Recently? Okay. All right. Recently? Okay. It's been a little bit more than just recently. I'm not saying that Trump doesn't misspeak. Trump definitely misspeaks. He says maybe the wrong word sometimes, but like he's not sitting there saying true anonymous shabbat pressure at a rally. Let me see. I hope I can get that clip and throw it for you. If I don't, then I'm just being a lazy editor, honestly. But let's keep going.
Let's just play a clip. This is of Trump doing his Biden impression the other day.
When I imitate Biden, who can't find the stairs ever, she goes like this. Thank you. Where am I? Thank you. And then he goes. And he points. And then.
I want to see Biden imitate Trump. I want to see that. If Biden can imitate Trump, then this is an equal playing field. Equal playing field. I don't see any issues with, like, he's old, obviously, but like, is he at Biden's level? No, of course he's not. But maybe they'll play some clips of Biden being also doing some impressions about Trump. Like, I want to see Biden do an impression of Trump. Like, someone give me down in the comments below. Come on, just throw it down there right now. You could do it down below. It's easy.
You see, Tomi, the interesting thing with me about Trump, I've known him a long time. I look at him, warts and all, good, bad, ugly. There's plenty of all of that with Trump. But his supporters love him. And one of the reasons I think that he's so popular with so many Americans is because he makes them laugh.
True.
I watched that speech the other day. He was very funny. Not always, and some of it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't very funny. It was, I smirked at it. It was okay. It was all right, I guess. I guess a lot more funnier than most presidents out there, I guess. I guess I could say that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Obama was funny. I think Obama was charismatic, but not funny, I guess. Like, he was super serious all the time, Obama. Like, he'll tell you, like, he'll be super serious, tell you one thing, and then do the complete opposite. And you're like, damn, I thought he was telling the truth. And he was so sincere about it, too. And then information comes out that he does the complete opposite. I'm like, Okay, thank you, Obama. Thank you. And he'll have a smile with it too. Anyways, let's just keep going.
As always with Trump, some of the hyperbolic rhetoric was a bit alarming. But
True.
actually, he was an entertainer, entertaining the crowd. That's why they like him. That's why they vote for him.
True.
They like him because he has charisma. I like him because he has charisma. I also like him because when Donald Trump was my president, the economy was doing well. We ended endless wars. We started no new wars. There was relatively peace around the world with Donald Trump at the helm of the United States of America.
Relatively.
People didn't like what he tweeted. People didn't like the way that he spoke. Maybe they didn't like the way that he dressed or the way that his hairstyle was or his fake tan. But none of that mattered because the United States was doing well. Our border was secure. The world was a better place with Donald Trump at the helm. And when Democrats talk about Joe Biden and they say, oh, you know, he's slipping a little bit, my goodness, we know that they are obviously gaslighting us because we can.
True. They're like, whenever someone says that, it's like the understatement of the year. Like we have all the videos, man. Like if you don't see them, it's because you're choosing not to look at those memes or videos, or you're surrounding yourself with people that love Biden so much that they're not going to be like looking. I mean, you kind of have to go and dig and look for them, like the really bad ones, honestly. But like, come on, man. Like, do the same thing. Like in the comments below, throw me some clips of Trump doing a bunch of really like just making up words, because like there's a lot of clips of Biden just making up words.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him
like Badacath care or true anonymous, true amount of pressure or something like that. I don't know how to say it. Badacath care. I think he was trying to say health, something better health care, but he said Badacath care or whatever. I don't know. This is me interpreting Biden's gibberish. He could have meant something else, but you know what? It's all right. Because I think he was talking about Obamacare at the same time. He could have tried to say that, but it doesn't. Badacath care doesn't sound like Obamacare. I think better health care is Badacath care. That sounds more legit. But whatever. It's all right. Let's keep going.
You can clearly see that Joe Biden is not just slipping. He was slipping in 2020. He has slipped all the way now that we're in 2024. And it's not just little misspeaks here and there. Everybody has misspeaks. They mix people up. For Joe Biden, you have a special counsel report that quite plainly says we can't go after this man for his classified documents because he's a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
True.
Right there. Maybe we can indict him 96 times. We can't charge him with 96 things because he simply is not cognitively there enough to be able to withstand it. That's the
true. So true. They literally did like a diagnosis, a doctor's thing on Biden to figure, like, that's just facts right there. Like he's so, like his brain is so gone that he couldn't even have come up with it. Like his brain wouldn't have been able to do something as complicated as what they were accusing Biden of doing. Maybe he could have done that like back then when he was a bit younger, but now he mentally he would not be able to do anything too complicated. Like that's sad. That's sad. It's true, but sad. Like, why is Biden there? Like, come on. Like, Biden needs to be in a rocking chair, watching the sunset with some peanut butter and jelly, or maybe just jelly if he's allergic to peanut butter. I don't know. But yeah, he really shouldn't be the president. I don't understand why the Democrats are pushing for Biden for a second term. Like, get someone else. Get a better person. There's some good Democrats out there, man. Like, is Biden seriously all they got? I hope they don't. There's some talks about Michelle Obama, but if Michelle runs, it's an automatic win. Like, that's just how I feel. It's an automatic win for Michelle, 100%. Oh, it's gonna be like the Obama years, the first black lady president, and she's Obama's wife. Because I forgot that. Yeah, she's Obama's wife. That's literally like the reason Obama won twice is because they just voted Like they just voted for skin color. That's basically. And he was super charismatic. Obama was very charismatic. True. I don't know how Michelle is though. But Michelle's been there, so I don't know if she even wants to do it. But there's some talks. Some rumors. There's nothing true yet, but they could just push her in. I don't know, but yeah. All right, let's just keep going.
United States, that's the best the Democrats can do for their party. I'm sorry. You guys better be shaking in your boots if that's what you're going to go with in November.
I mean, Destiny.
Damn, she's good with the talking points. Like she is, I mean, that's my criticism. She's like a talking point type person, like just a talking head. And I don't know. That's just, it just sounds scripted to me, honestly. Like I respect Destiny because he does his own thing and he has his own opinions, and whatever he thinks, that's what he thinks. He doesn't, and I guess, well, this might be more criticism, I guess. That's a positive, is that I respect that, but the negative is that sometimes he just sounds so arrogant when he's, especially if it's something I don't like agree with. It just comes off as like you're so confidently ignorant. Like that's just how I feel sometimes with him. So confidently ignorant. But you know what? That's just my opinion. For the most part, there's some facts in that. Watch my Ben Shapiro / Destiny video, the one that I made maybe a week ago or something. But yeah, that was a good video. This is going to be a good one too, so stick around.
You know, I know your view of Trump, but it's hard to argue with all of what Tomi just said, isn't it? I mean, the Democrats seem to me to be sleepwalking in to a complete disaster if they're not careful. Biden
True.
From here across the pond anyway, like someone who can barely string a sentence together or stay on his own 2 feet. How would anyone vote for someone given they have to do 4 years more from November as president of the United States, the toughest job in the world?
Remember, Destiny isn't going to say anything about how Biden is good. All he's going to do is compare Biden to Trump and say Trump is worse. So that's why I'm voting for Biden. That's basically what he's going to say. But you know what? I'm poisoning the well, and I kind of have to. It's nice. I'm giving my subjective information, but let's see what Destiny has to say about Trump. Remember, anything that he has to say about Trump, you could just ignore. But you know what? He might have a good point, so let's just watch it.
I mean, it depends on what you're pushing for. I mean, if you want to elect a comedian because he's got good charisma, then I agree that Trump definitely has better stage presence than Biden does. I think if you're a Democrat, you want to support Biden, you just have to try to stick in the realm of fact. Republicans inhabit a totally separate world right now. I just heard Tomi Lahren say that we're doing better on
Bro, talk about you said the realm of fact. Like, if you want to support Biden, just stick into the realm of fact. And then he doesn't say anything good about Biden. He just goes right to Trump and say Trump is bad, Trump is wrong. Like, okay, all right, let's see what he's going to say.
On the foreign policy front, because Trump was better for being in endless wars. I mean, he bombed Syria, he abandoned Kurdish allies, he kicked the can down the road in Afghanistan, he hid Yemen drone strikes from us, he was still part of the Saudi-led coalition to bomb Yemen. He didn't do anything about Russia's takeover of Crimea. I mean, like, the idea that Trump was better on any of these areas of foreign policy is ridiculous.
They're about to break. There's a couple of things that he said where he's stretching the truth and framing it in the most negative way possible when it really, the way that he says it, he's not outright blaming Trump, but the way that he says it sounds like he's blaming Trump, and that's kind of how I think what she's going to end up doing, this lady. She's going to end up, you can't even see it. Like, it sounds like he's blaming Trump, but he technically isn't, which is the annoying thing about Destiny. I'm not going to lie. All right, let's keep going.
The idea that he was better domestically when he completely mishandled
Obama, by the way. That was
Obama's
Obama,
not my anointed
friend.
One. That's great. But Trump still didn't do anything about it. Even if you think that Trump does have good ideas for the country, he has just failed as a leader. He's a failure of a businessman. He's a failure of a leader. He can't.
Bro. Now, see, this is why I think he's just very ignorant. He's calling Trump, the business guy that made billions of dollars, a failed businessman. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. The billionaire is a failed businessman. All right, Destiny. Okay, Destiny. All right, Dustin. I don't know what to say to that. Like, bro, I guess a bunch of billionaires are just failed businessmen, right? Okay, dude.
And get people together to write legislation. Joe Biden, in all his senility, was somehow able to pass the same infrastructure bill that Donald Trump said for 4 years he was going to get done. He didn't. Donald Trump couldn't even repeal or replace Obamacare, which is what a lot of Republicans literally voted him to do. Like, the idea that Trump is a competent leader is anything more than just a comedian or a guy that does funny one-liners on Twitter is delusional.
I mean, you can blame him for many things, but as Tommy said, you can't blame him for the takeover of Crimea because that was years before Trump came into power.
Exactly.
I'm not blaming him for the takeover of Crimea. I'm saying.
See what I said before? It sounded like he was blaming it, but he didn't. And now he's going to be like, oh, no, I didn't say he was blamed for it. I just said that he didn't do anything when he came into power about it. Like, he didn't do anything about it. And that's on him. So why even bring it up in the first place? And then since he wants to play that game, I think she's going to end up saying, well, there was this thing that Biden didn't do that happened underneath Biden's watch. And then Destiny's going to be like, well, I don't blame Biden for that because Trump was technically the one that started all these things. And it's going to sound like a cope. Like, trust me, 100%. Let's keep going.
Saying that Trump has never made a good but difficult foreign policy decision. If you look at the Doha agreement that he made with the Taliban, he kicked the can down the road. He says that he would be strong on Ukraine. The only thing he cared about for Ukraine was trying to get information about Hunter Biden.
What about,
wait, kick the can down the road? He didn't kick the can down the road. If Trump was gonna have a second term, then he was gonna have to deal with it within the second term. Destiny makes it seem like that Trump just knew he was just gonna leave office and never have to deal with it ever again. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Destiny is like, retrospectively, like, he's a good debater. The little things he does, where it's just the way that he says things, the way that he phrases it. I don't know how to say it. It's almost like sophistry. To be honest, he doesn't hold. He hates Trump. And he doesn't hold him to the same standard as how he holds Biden. Like, Trump didn't do anything, even though Obama was the one that started it. But it's not Biden's fault because Trump was the one that started it. Like, that's just weird to me. Let's get to that point.
What about what Joe Biden did in Afghanistan, which was the most shameful and disgraceful overnight fleeing of a country and throwing millions of Afghan women back to the Taliban. Now, you can blame Trump all you like for that, but the bottom line is it happened under Joe Biden on his watch. He was president. It was a catastrophic failure. So many allies and friends of the Americans were left in its wake.
All right, Destiny, how are you going to squirm out of this one?
Many people died that day, and women in Afghanistan have gone back to the medieval dark ages. That's on Joe Biden, isn't it?
100%.
No.
Cope! Cope! All right, what's your excuse?
If you read the Special Inspector General report for Afghanistan, the whole reason why that pullout happened on that timetable was because of the Doha agreements that Donald Trump signed. He drew our troop levels down to historic lows.
Bro, he's blaming Trump for something that Biden can change now that Biden is in office. Oh, but Trump made a timeline. And Biden couldn't go against the timeline. He could have. And actually, Joe Biden did go against the timeline. He kept on. They were supposed to leave early in April. But, like, Biden kept on pushing it. And then I guess they finally committed to a time, like, I think a month later than what Trump actually, like, set up back when he was in office. Which is crazy to say, like, oh, it's Trump's fault because Trump had a timeline that Biden ended up extending anyways, but it's still Trump's fault. What? Okay. All right, Destiny. It just sounds like a cope to me, but I'll let the audience decide.
In Afghanistan for when Biden came into office because Donald Trump put America on a timetable to leave that country. If Biden wanted to, he could have come in and undone that.
So you're you're blaming Donald Trump for a decision that was taken 8 months after he left office.
True. True. Nah, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. 100%.
Taken under Donald Trump. The timetable was established under Donald Trump.
He
It's
didn't
called
have
the
to stick
Doha
to it.
Agreement.
Joe Biden's a big boy. He's the president of the United States.
Exactly.
I mean, Tommy, it seems to me that the desperate attempt.
Is he a big boy, Piers? Is he a big boy? I'm not so sure. He has to use Lakita Kitty stairs, but I just have to jump in here.
Oh, man.
I don't think anybody wanted to stay in Afghanistan. That wasn't the point. The timetable that Donald Trump negotiated, there was nothing wrong with the timetable. Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan was catastrophic. He didn't have the support that he needed. He didn't have the strategy that he needed. It wasn't about staying in Afghanistan in perpetuity. Nobody wanted that. I'm sure Democrats didn't want to be in an endless war in Afghanistan either. It was the way that Biden handled it. And every time since then, he has failed when it.
No, but you forget, Trump made the timetable, man. It's out of Biden's hands. It's Trump's fault. 100%. Come on, man.
comes to foreign policy. Now we've got
being
Israel
facetious
at war. We've got Ukraine still and heading into year, 2.5 of war that we are still funding. The world is a much more dangerous place. And that doesn't even bring me to my southern border where we have 10 million illegal immigrants who have invaded on Biden's watch. I'm sure.
All right, I actually have something to say about that. Got something to say about that. So recently, very recently, I think maybe like last week actually, from when this comes out, it's like this is the last day of February. So last day of February 2024. It's a leap year this year. Today's a cool day. The only day we'll ever see in the next 4 years, the 29th of February. It's a cool day. It's a great day. I think last week or the week before of this date, depending on when you watch this video, there was an immigrant, right? An immigrant. And this immigrant, I'll just keep the story short. We have an issue with people coming here and deleting our citizens in gruesome ways. And this person shouldn't have died. It was a female. She died. It was because of an immigrant. This immigrant was trying to do something to this female that he shouldn't have done. And this female fought back, and this immigrant wasn't expecting that and ended up deleting this person gruesomely. Skull was cracked, and that happened in our country. This person would still be here if Biden was being more aggressive on the border, but hey, this is Biden's America. Biden's America is where people can come in and delete our citizens and then run off. Good job, Biden, because that's what we need now. Yeah. So Tim Pool made a big thing about this, and honestly, I second that opinion because that's ridiculous. Like, this is Biden's America. It's disgusting. So.
Sure, my friend.
Just want to spread awareness.
That is Donald Trump's fault as well, even though he oversaw the most secure border that we believe in American history that we know of. So there is no disputing the record. You can say that Joe Biden was able to sit there as a shadow president while things got passed through Democrat chambers.
Oh, there's one good thing that I can say about Biden that was actually pretty good. The CHIPS Act. Now, there's probably some bloat in the CHIPS Act that probably I would not like, but you know what? So if someone's gonna ask me what's the one good thing you can say about Biden, the CHIPS Act, man, that's legit. I would work there, but there's probably a lot of extra bloat in that act as well that probably isn't good for the United States in the long run. But I'm only guesstimating because I haven't really heard too much about it. There's definitely some bloat in there, but I didn't hear a lot of fuss about it, and this happened a while ago, so maybe no one remembers it. But if anyone has to ask me about one good thing about Biden, CHIPS Act, 100% legit. Everything else, garbage. Like, it's great that he brought some manufacturing here, but he's also leaving the border open for criminals to come in and try and delete our people, which is what just happened last week, and that's insane. And Biden, I put that on you because you're the president. You're supposed to be protecting us, not just letting any person come in and delete people here. That's insane to me. Like, it's literally the one job you're supposed to protect from invasions. Like, come on, Mal. It's like one of your biggest jobs. And we just want to send money out to other countries because that's our biggest problem here. Like, bro, there's so many issues here, and he doesn't care. He cares about. Honestly, I feel like Biden cares about Ukraine's border way more than he cares about our border. And I'm like, what American is living over in Ukraine right now that needs like protecting that we didn't send over there? Because then people are like, oh, what about the soldiers that we didn't technically send any soldiers, but we have contractors probably because we're definitely helping out. But like, whatever. Another topic. Let's keep going.
Chambers, but you can't sit here and tell me that the man is cognitively well or that he's done anything on his own accord to better the world of the United States.
Well, let me ask Destiny.
My friend, you know this.
Let me ask Destiny my favorite question of all my liberal friends, which is, do you know how many illegal immigrants Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I don't know that number.
Immigrants did he deport, or did they have like
did he have
contact with
Did he have
border?
deported, thrown out of the country?
I don't know the number of that.
Have a guess.
For when you say deport, you mean somebody that was already in the country, and then they were caught
removed.
in the country and removed. My guess is those numbers are always fairly low. Probably less than 1 million. I have no idea. I truly have no idea.
3 million, which is the greatest number pro rata of any president in history, and earned him the moniker in Mexico of deporter in chief. And yet, oddly, whenever I talk to my liberal friends, they never know this. They never made a fuss at the time. They were quite comfortable about that happening. And
I'm not gonna lie, I don't see how this is like an own for Destiny. Like, Destiny never cared about the border. He never cared about it during Obama, and I don't think he cares about it during Trump. I didn't think he cared about it during Trump either. So, that's just something Destiny just doesn't care about. He really doesn't care about one of the most important things that a president should be doing. Which honestly shows why probably shouldn't be putting like whatever you should, if you have opinions, if you're taking Destiny's opinions and you're holding his opinions with some weight, like sure he may be super factual and stuff, but his opinions and morals, you really don't want to clone any of that. Like you really don't. Like there's a reason why he hasn't been able to convince his own very parents on how bad Trump is or whatever Destiny says about Trump. Because like his parents, specifically his mom, probably his dad too, but his mom, they just love Trump. They're going to vote for him. They voted for him in 2020. They're going to vote for him again. And Destiny, him being a liberal, Destiny's a really smart guy, but he just isn't able to convince them. I wonder why he's not able to convince his own family members on how terrible Trump is supposed to be, in his opinion, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, I watched Tim Pool. His entire family, well, they didn't really like Trump, but now they're probably all going to end up voting for him. But, like, Tim doesn't really talk about his family too much. But I know specifically Tim's mom works for him, and I'm not sure about the dad. He doesn't really mention anything about his dad. But Tim does a news channel. Destiny has a lot more of his personal life out there. Tim doesn't really have a lot of his personal life out there. So maybe Tim's parents or family isn't going to be voting for them. But I think they are, because like Tim makes really good arguments, really good and convincing arguments, like rational arguments. I don't think Destiny can sell Biden. I think Destiny can sell Biden by criticizing Trump. That's the only way Destiny can sell Biden, because he has to criticize the other side in order for that to work, I guess. But I'm going to skip to Trump's foreign policy, because I have to cut this video short.
Energy is very strong compared to
a big problem.
Most European countries. Destiny, you've been listening patiently to this. I want to play a clip. This is Trump talking about foreign policy in his speech at the weekend.
Viktor Orban is somebody I respect greatly. A lot of people respect him. Tough guy, smart guy. He made the statement recently. He said, you bring back Trump, it'll all stop. They all listened to Trump. They respected Trump. He actually said it stronger than he said they were afraid of Trump. I don't want people to be afraid of me. But he said China was afraid, Russia was afraid. They were all afraid of Trump. Bring him back, and it'll all go back.
What do you think, Des? I mean, there is an argument.
That's 100% true. I mean, no. No. All right, let me take that back. So, yeah, but that's Trump being gaffing right there. Look at all those words. He screwed up some words there, man. Like, Trump is he's on par with Biden when it comes to just coming up with words sometimes. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's like 1-to-1 right there. Right, Destiny?
To say that Trump's
I'm just making fun of him now at this point.
Unpredictable style on the global stage did make people think twice. I mean, not much of any serious gravity happened on his watch. He did not.
Also, notice Destiny cannot give one good thing about Trump. I'm poisoning the well again. Maybe that's not true. Let's hear what he has to say.
As Tomi says, he didn't launch a new war anywhere. Is there some merit to the madness, if you like?
No.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yep. All right, make your case.
People seem to want to give Trump credit for some things, like people not starting wars or people not engaging in certain types of, I guess, international armed conflict decisions. But the reality is that if you analyze any of the actual particular things that he did when it came to foreign policy, most of them were the precursors for the conflict that we are now blaming on Biden.
Yeah, you can make the same argument with what happened underneath Obama. But Destiny literally said in the beginning, said, nope, I don't blame. I blame Trump for not doing anything for it. So, yeah, that's too bad. But he's not going to blame Obama for something that happened under his reign. But Trump is still somewhat at fault, even though it didn't happen underneath him. Interesting, like that, you see the little, the hypocrisy, which is very interesting, which shows that he's not really doing this out of like logic. He's kind of doing it because he just hates Trump. That's why he's putting all the blame on Trump, 100%.
Taliban in the United States. The Afghanistan government wasn't even included in those talks. If you look at what's happening right now in Israel and Palestine, the whole Abraham Accords, where Donald Trump was heralded as having peace in the Middle East, the whole reason that was done, in a way, was to avoid Israel annexing the West Bank and to undermine the Palestinians there that wanted to negotiate with Israel for peace.
And then when Biden comes in and deletes most of Trump's executive orders, look what happens. The Middle East falls apart. But that's Trump's fault. Okay. All right. True.
The whole Abraham Accords completely cut them out of the conversation. It's one of the reasons why Hamas felt so slighted. It's one of the reasons why Palestinians are engaging in more violent activity against Israel. It's because
so they waited when those things that Trump put into place happened underneath Trump. They were slighted. They felt so slighted that they waited for him to leave office and then attack when Biden comes in, because Biden had nothing to do with it. 100%, right? Biden just had nothing to do with it. It's not like he delayed anything or cut some things out that Trump did and the previous administration did. No, Biden didn't do any of that. Biden just he just got slighted. Like, Trump just made these timelines. Trump is like this powerful guy and Biden just couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't fix it. Like, sure.
Nobody's ever been negotiating with them. So there's like this very superficial view that you can take where you can say, oh, Donald Trump was good for foreign policy because no new wars happened to start under this 4-year time period. But if you look at what he was actually setting up in any of the countries where the conflict was going on, all he was doing was setting the stage to kick the can down the road for future conflict to erupt, which it has.
All right, Destiny, what would you give Trump credit for?
What, domestically or internationally?
I know.
I like how he has to specify domestically or internationally. I like this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting. I mean, I'm sure Destiny can come up with something nice for Trump. Let's just hear it.
Something.
Let's see. If I had to give Trump credit for anything, I mean,
wow.
I was strong under Trump. I do think sometimes that Democrats are too heavy-handed when it comes to things related to welfare or things related to taxation. I don't like the idea of demonizing success. I think that Republicans typically do a better job, or did do a better job, at things like patriotism or championing wealth or people that were making money. So I guess I would give Trump, general credit for things like that. I mean, I saved money on my taxes.
And Tomi, just to return the favor, can you think?
I like how he said that without saying tax cuts. That was a long way of saying tax cuts. Like, he pays less in his taxes at the end right there. That's a long way of just saying, yeah, Trump did do those tax cuts. Wow. I like how it took Destiny a little while to actually like say something nice about him. But this lady over here, I think she did a poor job. But like the CHIPS Act, all she had to say is the CHIPS Act. But I don't think she can. I think Piers Morgan's going to give her the same exact question.
Think of something good to say about Joe Biden?
Yeah, come on now. The CHIPS Act.
Yeah, You know, when I look at my country right now, there's not a whole lot that I could say about Joe Biden. I think he seems like a nice man. He seems like perhaps a good husband, perhaps a good father, supporting, obviously, Hunter Biden. So he's
good father. If he was a good father, would Hunter Biden be the way that he is right now? Like, sure, he's supporting him now, but like, if a person is doing what Hunter Biden is doing now, is that indicative of like how he's been raised? I'm probably using that word wrong, but whatever. Like, parents have a lot to blame to how their kids grow up and end up being. Like, parents have a lot more blame than they wanna take up on. 100%. Like, if they grow up and become a not so good type of human being, the parents has a lot to play in that. It's not just outside forces. Like, all the good is all the parents and all the bad, the parents had nothing to do with it. Nah, it's the good and the bad that makes up the person that got those, let's say, character traits that Hunter Biden has. But good, he's supporting him now, I guess. Good father. A little bit iffy, I wouldn't say that, but I'm not gonna say he's like the worst father in the world, but whatever, I guess.
Seems like he is, I'll use the words of the special counsel, a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. I don't think he's a bad person. I think that he's uniquely bad at this job. And I think it's time for someone to come and make America great again. And that's
I have
the
to
most
say, I think Destiny wins.
In one of the most exploding economies in the history of the United States, and the recovery from COVID, and there's not, in all of the foreign policy guidance we have related to Ukraine and Israel, there's not a single positive thing that we can say about Biden's presidency right now.
Well, no, here's what I would say to you. Again, it comes down to perception, Destiny, which is you're not wrong to say that the economy is in pretty good shape in America comparative to most other countries.
No one is going to say that Biden was the reason that happened. That's what Destiny doesn't get. No one's going to say Biden was the reason that happened. Like, it's been so bad for so long, and now it's starting to come back up when people realize that Trump might become the president again. Like, I'm actually seeing those gas prices slowly go down as the election gets closer and near right now. Every 4 years, we're just going to have to, like, gas prices are going to go down just so the other person can get, like, okay, so it can mean two things for why the gas prices are going down. It could either be Biden's actually doing something now. You waited 4 years for that. Stupid. Because immediately he got inaugurated. As soon as Biden got inaugurated, the gas prices just went up, shot sky high, and they finally are coming back down when election time rolls around. But another point could be is that the only reason they're going down is because it seems like Trump's going to end up winning. And when Trump wins, all those oil industries those big oil, they're going to be like, Trump's going to allow us to be able to drill a little bit more so we can make more oil here, be self-sustainable. And then, so they're kind of, the market investors into the oil companies are projecting that the oil companies are going to be worth even more now, because, which brings the prices of oil down, because that's just the way, I think that's the way the economy works about that. It's the perception. Like, if a lot of people think something's going to go good, they're all going to immediately buy, which is going to inflate that thing, which it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. The market's kind of like that. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in the moment, but when reality hits, it's like a wave. Like, whether that reality was true or whether that perception was true or not, kind of like that's what ultimately in the long term determines if that goes up or down or not. But the perception right now is that maybe Trump might be winning, so maybe the gas is going to go low, and that's why it's slowly going down, because the perception of gas being lower is becoming higher. Like, maybe that's it. Throw it down in the comments below if I'm wrong or not. That's just the way that I see it. I'm not an economics guy at all.
I say to you, again, it comes down to perception, Destiny, which is you're not wrong to say that the economy is in pretty good shape in America comparative to most other countries.
Destiny knows the facts.
People in America aren't giving Biden the credit because his approval ratings are in the tank, because they basically see a guy who's senile. And they don't want that person to carry on being president.
Literally. He could just, any second, that Biden could just, like, pass out on us, and then we got Kamala Harris. No one really wants Kamala Harris as president. Like, there's a reason why. Okay, never mind. Just, you know what? Whatever.
Thirds of Democrats don't want him to run again. It's not even a Republican issue. His own party don't want him to.
Damn.
I definitely agree there's perception issues, but I mean, hey, listen, we're in the media. The goal is to fight the perceptions because I think the perceptions are crafted here. And again, I question.
He is so not wrong about that. That statement is probably the most truest thing that I will ever agree with him right now in this entire debate, because he's trying to craft that perception, and I'm not going to let him. That's why I'm poisoning the well in the beginning of this entire thing. That's why I'm poisoning the well. He's trying to change that perception. And you know what? I'm not going to let him dictate reality right now. I'm going to keep the perception. I'm going to poison the well. And he's going to try his best to undo that. And, well, fight me. Let's keep going.
The authenticity of people that are calling Biden's job performance, into question because of his senility, when Donald Trump got almost no major legislation passed. When Donald Trump.
That's a good thing. We don't want government being hands-on on our thing. Like, the only thing we want government to do is protect our borders. We want to protect the borders, make sure no one's going into our things. Tax cuts, we want less government out of our lives. We don't want all this extra bureaucracy. I think that's how you say it, bureaucracy, or extra legal stuff being in here. That's a good thing that there wasn't a lot of legislation passed. If anything, Trump did tax cuts, and he focused on the border, which is what a leader should do of the United States, literally the United States should be focusing on the border, making sure that we're protected so we can do our businesses, we can do our thing. Just protect us. That's why we voted you in, man. That's I feel like that should be one of the ultimate roles of the presidency. Focusing on the border and foreign affairs, not micromanaging us and passing all these little tiny legislations and stuff like that. No. That's what our local state governments are for, not the president of all the states. Focus on the border, man. And Biden's literally not doing that.
Trump kicked the can down the road on every single large issue.
Sure, you can say that he kicked it down the road, but Trump wasn't anticipating of not winning the next election. Trump was trying to win the next election. If Trump was just kicking something down the road for someone else to deal with it, like he's trying to insinuate right now, then Trump would just not run, and then whoever comes in would have to deal with it. No, Trump wanted to win so he can continue on with continue on kicking things down the road. Is that Destiny's argument right now? Okay. The whole, they had to pull out on a specific timeline. Trump would have still been in there, and he would have to deal with what Biden had to deal with, and probably would have done a much better job than what Biden did, than just pulling out and leaving people there. It was really dumb what Biden did. So sure, you could say he's kicking it down the road so that because Trump just knew in the future that he wasn't going to win and that Biden was going to look bad when he tried to do, that's just crazy. That's conspiracy theory nonsense that he's basically insinuating. He's not saying it outright, but that's when you actually think about what Destiny says and where it leads, it just sounds like a conspiracy theory, to be honest.
I also think that a lot of the
totally unconvincing
right now in terms of voting for Biden and his favorability is having to do with the fact that apparently a lot of Americans aren't even sure who's going to be on the ballot. I think a lot of Americans still have questions about Biden.
True. That's the only reason why Nikki Haley is still in the race, because Nikki thinks that Trump is going to end up being off the ballot, and then she's going to slip her way right into it. And I'm like, just leave, Nikki. There's no reason for you to be there. No one likes you. I mean, the only people that like Nikki Haley is literally the donor class, the non-middle class, the I would call them elites, but the 1%, the people that are giving her lots of money, people on she's just as corrupt as when I say corrupt, I mean, I'm not gonna explain. She's just as corrupt as freaking Biden, I would say, honestly.
Running because of his age. A lot of Americans still have questions about Trump running because of the incoming indictments. I think as the months start to creep forward, I think we might see sentiment change, especially if the special election history over the past few years in America has been any indication about where American sentiments are feeling in terms of supporting Democrats or Republicans.
All I would say in response to that is that if you look just at the Iowa caucus, he didn't even win that in 2016. But he won it.
Yes, the support for Trump is going up. It went up in 2020. He got 20 million more votes. He didn't win, but he got 20 compared to 2016 Trump and 2020 Trump. 2020 Trump got 20 million more votes than 2016 Trump. It's just that Biden got way more than than Trump. And now the caucuses that he's running right now, he's winning things pre-election before that he has never won, even in 2020, which means support for Trump is going up, up, up. So how do you cope with that, Destiny?
This time by a landslide. That says to me that support for Trump is increasing. And remember, he got nearly 10 million more votes in 2020 than he got in
10 million, not 20, sorry.
After 4 years of if you listen to Democrats, after 4 years of the most hellish presidency in history, 10 million more Americans went out and voted for him.
Yeah, legit.
I just want to switch gears to
Based.
Tomi.
Let's go.
Quickly about Prince Harry.
All right, well, I have to go now, so I'm going to cut this short. Thank you for watching. My name is Mr. WhyzGuy. And let's just remember to like and subscribe. Comments are great too. Thank you very much. And what do you guys think? Should I keep doing these? I like doing these. These are fun. They're great. Did I poison the well too much? Let me know down in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.